us to play. This one is called Virginia Reel. And this is probably the most confusing game I've played. There's a lot of different rules to remember, a lot of setup and a lot of counting. And that's a lot of fun. It should take you about 20 minutes to play. There's a 1 in 4 chance that you will win. So here's what you do first. You pull out a 2, 3, and a 4 of different suits. And these are going to be the start of foundations. However, we're going to now have 7 cards in each row right next to it. 5, 6, 7. Okay, now here's the fun parts. You can start building up in your foundations. Each foundation you'll be counting up by 3. So a 2, as long as it's in this row right here, you can start building it up. So look, there's 2 2s down here. I couldn't start building a 5 on top of that because yes, I am going to be counting by 3s. But because it's not in the correct row, so I'm going to have to get this into that row somehow. And somehow is kind of tricky. Same thing with this 4. This 4 needs to go into the 4 row, but it's not a quick, well, actually in this case, it is a quick switch. So as long as this thing can move, it can replace this 2 right here, these 2 can switch places. I'm just going to do that. It may not be in our best interest to do that right now, but I'm going to do that. If this were a, 3 up here, then I could have switched the 2 and the 3. However, if I want to move this 2 up here, I can't do it quite yet unless I can replace it by a card in a stock here. Okay, I'm going to deal out a pile. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Now, I also need to tell you, if there was an ace up here initially, aces don't build on anything, and you'd have to replace it. The only way you can replace it is like so. However, if we deal an ace out, we can get rid of it. Okay? Let's just say, for argument's sake, okay, this king and this ace were switched. Okay? It's not, but let's just say it is. The only way I can get this ace out of here is if I can, from my reserve pile, make a suitable switch, like an immediate switch. So get rid of that ace. That 3 could get rid of it from the reserve pile. Okay, and then kick it out. That's if it's up there. It was down here, however, so we can just boot it. Now, there's a space. We can't move cards into this space, only from this pile right here. We're only ever going to have one deal. There's no redeals. What I would do is I would leave this somewhere that you can, it's hard to count by 3s and remember everything. There's a lot of rules in this game. So the 2 is going to build up 2, 5, 8s, and then jacks. The 3s go up by 3, 6, 9, then queens, 4, 7, 10s, then kings. And suitable place cards we can move. Any card down here can immediately go up top to build into the rank as long as these are in the correct rows. So I don't have any examples right yet, but if there was a, let's just say this 5 was on top of a 2 of spades, then the 8 could go on top of it from there immediately. However, since that 5 is not starting at the foundation, we're going to have to get it on a 2 sometime. So it's tricky getting cards up into here. I do have a 2 and a 3, and I don't want these buried because if play comes to a standstill, you deal out 8 new cards from this. However, that's going to bury these, so we don't want to do that. So we want to get these cards up there as soon as possible. So I'm not going to think too much. I'm just going to get rid of this queen because I know that's one of the last cards that I'm going to play in the 3 row. Oop, what did I just do? Okay. Notice I replaced it with this card. I didn't just like put the 2 on top of it. You have, if I bring this 3 up here, you have to replace it with whatever card I'm doing. So switcheroony. Now that's, you're gonna have to keep track of where it came from. Because sometimes, and I think I just did it, I think the 2 is there, I'm not sure, pretty sure, but I forgot already. So maybe just leave a little marker. I have these little rocks to help me keep track of. If you're wondering why I have these on here, it's like so I don't go past them on the video. Anyway, if it helps you to have a little, I know I'm gonna move this 3 somewhere, right? Like this 7. I know that 7 can go on that 4. I couldn't just move this immediately unless I can fill that with a 3 from down here. So you can't move that 7 unless there's a suitable move. Okay, there was, so that worked out nice. So I didn't have to replace it. I mean, I did, but then it went over there. Okay, so let's just go. I want this 2 up top there, but I can't just, you can't replace those. Okay, the only way I could do that if there was a 3 up there. I know I said that a lot earlier, but there's a lot to remember in this game. Okay, so I don't think there's any more moves. Let me just double check if there's a 10 of diamonds somewhere. There's not. Okay, so I'm just going to deal out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can get rid of the aces because they're dead. And I know I can play that 2. I'm sorry, there's 5 up there. And I know I want to get this 2 somewhere. Now it's hard to remember what goes where. Okay, I guess I could have moved this 5 over there and replaced it with this. Okay, but there's too much to think about. I'm already like swimming in what to do. So I apologize if I do sound a little lost. So I am gonna get rid of this 2. I have to replace it. Oops, again, you try to remember where you took it from, because, you know, just one of those other things. So this is a really high concentration game. Don't be making a video of it when you first learn to play, because, you know, that ain't gonna work. Okay, that 8 can go on top of that. Again, this is really nice. Yeah, you can try to remember this all, but I think this little cheat sheet is really helpful. So Jack of diamonds, closed. So he's done. Okay, let's see. 7 can go on top of that 4. 10 of clubs. Again, can't move this queen over there. The only time the space gets filled is when you put the next row of 8 in. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going to do another couple of rows just so you get it. And then since it takes 20 minutes, I'll just go to cruise control. All right, so what else? What do I need to think? Any 5s? No. Okay. Again, I do want that 6 on that 3. I do want this 2 up here as well, but again, I can't move it unless I have a suitable, you know, replacement, unless there was a 3. So I could move this 2 to that. No, I can't even do that. Okay, because where would the 9 go? You can't just switch them. That 9 can't just go to that row. Seven, 8, take out the aces, 2s. I'm going to boot that 2 so I can get this going on up there. Sorry, this is way too much for me to think about. Okay. Sorry, I'm already losing track of what I'm doing. that out of there. And let's get this out of here, but then flip that so it's all good. Okay. Whew, it's tricky. So I can't move this 8 there unless I have a 4. So whenever I get the 4 next, then I can move that 8 there and replace this pile. Same thing with that, but that can't go anywhere right now. Okay. All right, one more row and then I'll put in the cruise. So 3, 6, see, I want this on there so I can ditch that. You don't want these piles getting too big because it's hard to get all the way to the bottom. You don't want to bury any cards like that 8, which I know I'll need before this king pretty soon. Okay, so do I have a 10? I do have a 10. Do have that. Do have that 8. Okay, yay. Okay, that's magic. Let's just double check that I can't do anything else. Again, even though 6 to 9 is 3, I can't do this because it's not on top of the 3. I wish it were, but it ain't. Okay, queens, 9, nope. 9, 6s, nope. 7, nope. 10s, 4 to this, nope. 4 to the 7, no. See, I want that 10. And again, you can't do that. It has to only move by building up top there somewhere. Okay, one more little row. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then, okay, we'll do that because I wanted to earlier. I wanted this 4 somewhere. What was that move I wanted to do? Probably be this one because I can go here, exchange that, sorry, and then put that up there. I guess I could have thought more carefully to unload that queen as opposed to this one having an empty space. Oh well, that's what happens when you don't slow down enough. 9, the queen. Okay, 7s, 4, 7, no. Okay, hey, I'm gonna go on a cruise now. Just play all the way through the end and see if we win. Again, it takes 20 minutes. It's a lot of thinking, so I don't think there's any other rules. Just there's a lot of things to remember in this one. Okay, good luck. Wish me luck.
Ba ba da ba 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 ba.
All right, almost did it. Got super close, but as you can see, a couple buried necessary cards in each of these little piles kind of stops you from moving, so from finishing it up. But boy, I liked that game. There's a lot to think about, a lot of rules. Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, let me know if you have any questions about any of the rules in here or anything that I did. I'd be happy to talk about it.